In this segment, we will discuss the offensive approach that we try to instill within our hitters here at Pendleton Heights. There are a couple of key philosophies that we use in order to prepare our hitters to execute at the plate. I want to go over the 5 areas first, and then we'll dive deeper into each of them. The first is to be selectively aggressive. We also use the phrase often, don't miss the fastball. We also want to emphasize to our guys to have a gap-to-gap approach. We want to emphasize situational hitting, and we want our guys to know that we value quality at bats over the traditional batting average. And we'll get into each of these, and let's start with the idea of being selectively aggressive. First of all, it is important to know that we do want to be aggressive at the plate. We want to get up there and be ready to hit from the very first pitch. At the same time, we have to know our strengths. We have to know where we enjoy the most success as a hitter. Part of that recognition is also understanding how pitchers are going to try to get us out. A good example of this would be if you're not a good low ball hitter, a good away fastball hitter, and a pitcher paints a low outside corner with the first pitch, well, then swinging at that would be swinging at a pitcher's pitch. If you're a pull guy and you swing at a low and outside pitch, all you're going to do is roll that pitch over for a ground ball out to the left side, and we've had an unproductive at bat. A curveball down in the dirt is a pitcher's pitch. He's trying to get you to swing at that pitch. At that point, that would be swinging at a pitcher's pitch. We want to avoid those. We want to look for something that we can do damage with. And to do that, we have to know our zone. We have to know where our hot zones are. With what pitch and where on the plate do you do the most damage? That's knowing your zone, and we want you to be aggressive when your pitch comes. We want eyes to light up, and we want our hitters to attack that pitch. Lastly, we want our hitters to be ready from the very first moment they step to the plate. Too many guys are going up to the plate with the mindset that they want to see one. That one that you take might be the best pitch you see the entire at bat, and we need to be ready to hit it. Building off the idea of not missing the first pitch is this second phrase that we try to instill within our guys, and that's to not miss the fastball. The fastball is the pitch that most high school players are most comfortable attacking, and we don't want our guys to miss it. A lot of guys struggle to hit off speed to the point of doing damage, and so it makes sense to attack the fastball when we see it. Most pitchers use the fastball to get ahead in counts, especially. And so, again, being ready for that first pitch is critical. This means that we have prepared ourselves in the on-deck circle. We have gotten mentally ready to be 100% locked in as soon as I step to the plate. I've timed the pitcher's delivery and started to notice any tells or tendencies. I'm ready to hit as soon as I step into the box. We also teach that understanding when fastballs are most likely to come is also important. Fastball counts include 0-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. If we find ourselves in one of those accounts, missing the fastball is unacceptable. We also want to be sure that we are on time for the fastball. We need to anticipate a fastball coming. We can always shorten up, we can always hold back, we can always adjust to the off-speed pitch if it comes, but we'll never be able to speed up our swing to reach the fastball. So we need to make sure that we are anticipating a fastball and reacting to off-speed out of a pitcher's hand as early as possible. Our next main point is to have a gap-to-gap approach as a hitter. We want to look to do damage to the left center field and right center field gaps. Really, we want to have a middle of the field mentality. Wherever the pitch is on in relation to the plate, that's the direction we want to drive the ball. If we see a ball moving to the outside corner of the plate, we teach to let that ball travel a little deeper and drive it to the outside and drive it to the opposite field. If we see a pitch middle in, we're going to want to jump on that pitch, get our barrel out in front of the plate, and drive it to the left center field gap. Middle pitches, we want to go right back up the middle towards the pitcher. We want to hit it where it's pitched. What this does is allow room for error in our timing. Even if our timing is off, even if we're early on an off-speed pitch, if we have a gap-to-gap approach, we might send that ball down the left field line for a double. If we get surprised by a fastball and we're late on it, the ball is on us before we realize it. If we have a gap-to-gap approach to begin with, that ball will be headed down the right field line and we'll be off to the races. If we consistently have this approach, we have a good shot at doing some consistent damage. Our next focus is on situational hitting. A common phrase that we use a lot is get them on, get them over, and get them in. We want guys to find a way to get on base. If you're a cleanup hitter, but you're leading off an inning, your job's not to hit a home run. Your job is to find a way. to do everything within your power to get on base. Your job is to trust that the guy behind you can do their job. We take this team philosophy with us to the plate every single time. If the guy in front of you gets on with nobody out, we want the next guy to find a way to get him to second base. Because of this approach, we bunt a lot. We want our guys to be comfortable bunting. We want guys to be able to put the ball where it needs to go. The goal is to always advance a base at a time. Pass the baton on to the guy behind you. You pulling an outside pitch with a guy at second base is as selfish as it comes. On the other hand, letting that ball get deep and pushing the ground ball to the right side is a team first approach. It's a productive out. We've now, with that ground ball to the right side, moved the guy from second base to third base, and we trust the guy behind us is going to do the job. You give up your at-bat to have a guy standing on third with less than 2 outs. You are trusting your teammates behind you to get him in. We do, of course, keep track of batting average, but what we care more about is the quality of our bat. Is our quality at bat average, our QAB average. Batting average doesn't tell the whole story. A guy can lace 4-line drives right at somebody and walks away with an 0-for-4 day. That looks terrible in the box score, but he had quality at bats that game. He was on point. He was on time. He barreled balls. At the same time, a guy could hit a weak pop-up behind first base, but it falls in for a single. While the guy found a way to get the job done, he certainly wasn't seeing the ball well, wasn't on time. So we keep track of quality at bats, walks, hit by pitches, outs that advance runners, sac bunts, deep flies, working deep counts. All of these are quality at bats and are valued at Pendleton Heights. We were looking for guys that can consistently put together professional quality at bats. When we build lineups, we use this data that we've obtained to position guys correctly within the lineup based on their ability to get the job done.